In this video, what we're gonna be doing is turning your ordinary aux beam headlight into something a little bit more custom and getting it on our 2005 Yamaha Banshee. All right, everyone, if you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. We're gonna go through step by step what we need to do to get this headlight here, 4-inch aux beam, 80-watt LED, to something a little bit more custom and it's gonna be a little bit flashier and be more of a plug and play for the 2005 Yamaha Banshee. We're gonna do that right now and let's get to it. All right, everyone, so we're gonna go ahead and jump right in there. We have our headlight right here. We did decide to go for something a little bit different. I didn't like the look of the 2005 stock ones, the Banshee stock lights. Nothing wrong with them, but everything else on this machine is pretty custom, so why not do something a little different? Aux beam. It is not the highest brand, but it does put out some good quality and it's a step well above OEM. Now, a lot of people will say, hey, get the rigid bars and all that. No, I just run something simple. We're gonna go through the process that I use and I haven't had an issue with these. But first thing we're gonna do is make sure we just get these on here, get them mocked up and make sure they're gonna fit and look good. So as you see, when you first get,
so of course, here we are and I forget to charge my battery. But that's not a huge issue. What I am just doing is showing you that there's a difference in the mounting gaps on the original OEM Banshee frame and the aux beam. So you just got to be a little creative and decide if you're going to put some washers on the inside or the outside or one on each side in order to hold it steady in the middle. Also, you're just going to make sure that the light will clear. The last thing you want is the bottom of the light to be touching the top of that mounting surface right there.
yeah, step done. So we're going to just use some extra stainless steel bolts that we had, and what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of thread in there just so we can prove that they fit. And I'm going one from each side. So it did take me to use a drill bit to drill that out, but those are going to fit on there absolutely wonderful.
The next part of this process isn't too challenging. What we're going to do is just go ahead and get our Allen key that's hooked to our 3/8 ratchet and go ahead and disassemble it. We're going to take the front cover off, take the lens off, as well as just separate the gasket. Now you want to do everything you can to keep your hand from being on the inside of this lens because it'll be making it harder to clean, and you don't want to touch the chrome housing on the inside. Those things, the less you touch it, the better. So what we're going to do is go ahead and take that out. We have a burl tool that we're going to be linking down in the description, and we're just going to use that and go around the inside and take a good bit of material off. Enough material so that the blue halos that we got, which are 80mm, will fit in there nicely. So after we get that done, we're going to take these parts out, sandblast them. I'm not going to be doing the front caliper, the front hose mounts, but we're going to go ahead and do illusion orange on these. The other parts are going to be silver, but that's just knocking out two birds with one stone by doing all the sandblasting at one point. Then we're going to be taking them, throwing them in our powder coating oven until they gloss out, and then clear coating them, and then we'll be right back on.
All right, so here we go. We have our new ring complete. Right here is a little trench that I did have to bore out a little bit, as you can see, just so the wires are able to feed through the bottom. So when this is able to sit in there, it'll sit in there nice and flush, and the wires will come through right there, okay? So that's gonna be completely functional and do exactly what we need it to be. Orange, looking real good. But what we're gonna do is go ahead and put the silicone on here and get this done. All right, so the glass is gonna come off. We're gonna sit it, just lean it right up against there. The less stuff on it, the better. We got our gasket that's gonna come off as well. And then my silicone tube is no good, but we got that little bit coming out. And I'm just gonna go around the inside of that. Then we're gonna just smooth it, make sure it gets into that notch. All right, silicone's good. Now we're gonna put the gasket back on. All right, a nice little silicone mess right there. Glass is gonna come over, sit right back up on the top like it did. And now we have our halo just placed in there. Doesn't really have to be anything secure. It can dangle out in the front. But we're just gonna get the cover back on. All right, so as you see, right there we are, just sitting there. Got a couple screws started and we'll be on our way. I'm actually gonna take this back and just bore that notch just a little bit more. All right, so the notch is a little bit deeper, as you can see right here, just so the wires can go down through it with no problem. All right, so here we go. We have the set up, everything all hooked up. The last thing we're gonna do is just go ahead, see the wires are able to slide through like that. What we're gonna do is just go ahead and put the halo on. So glass is already clean. We'll just go ahead and peel the backing off. And pull down in there. Okay, I got these little clips have to come off. I forgot about those. There we go. Now if that's pressed on there, we can go ahead and just tighten everything down. All right, so we have the hard part pretty much done. We have both halos looking good and identical. We're just gonna finish doing the wiring. And what I'm gonna do actually is just cut this plug right here off. The less connections, the better. You keep this thing waterproof and it's no problem. And we're gonna put some liquid tape in here to keep it waterproof. And then that's gonna store up in there. So we're gonna get rid of all this extra wire. And then we're gonna put heat shrink wrap all the way down to here and then put an OEM plug on the end of it. And we're gonna get all that done off camera. It's not the hardest to show you all that. So I'm just gonna tell you what I'm doing and we'll look at it when it's done. All right, super excited. Second headlight is done. So it'll mount in there. It will be orange with the blue halo. We're going to test it out here in a second. I'm just going to hook it up to my power supply. But thank you all for following along with this. We're going to see what it's going to look like. Of course, as you see, it's daylight. I am going to cut the lights off, but it's not going to be an accurate representation, but these are crazy bright. Let's get it rolling. All right, everyone. So this is the moment of truth. We have everything hooked up. We have our light sitting right there. Just sitting there. We haven't installed them yet. But what I am going to do is the hot wire that's going to be hooked up to my battery, I am going to go ahead and put it on my tester. So it's on. So when the bike is in low beam, got blue halos. When it's in high beam, halos go off, LEDs are on. Super bright, look at that. Low beams, high beams. Low beams, high beams. All right, we'll try this in the dark a little bit, just to get a little better representation. Lights, freaking blinding, halos. And that's gonna look crazy good with the blue and everything. But next video, we're gonna be getting these installed and everything. If you enjoy this kind of content, hit that like button and subscribe. Complete video of how we did this. I didn't show you me heat shrinking things. It's kind of unnecessary. But besides that, that's the process that I use to take these aux beams, which are 80 watts, into something a little bit better, that's gonna be a little bit better, that's gonna fit my build a little bit better and still have a nice Banshee look to it. If you're interested in how the machine looked when we first started out, check out the playlist right here.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs on.